All right, Jamie Jitt, Diamond
Ooh.
Eater with Works. Thank you for coming on with me tonight. If you could tell us a little bit about how you got involved with the company and kind of just how you got started.
Sure. So about a year ago, I finally said yes to Colleen Bray, and I took a leap of faith with It Works. I think I had told her no two or three times, and the reason for that was that I didn't think I had time. I'm a mom with two little kids, and my husband's a minister, and we're involved in a lot of things at our church. And I'm also a full-time grad school student. So I just told her I don't think I have time, and I don't think that's for me. And then I couldn't get it out of my head. I kept kind of hearing her talk about um, the opportunity, and I thought, you know what? Why not? I'm going to give it a shot. So here I am, a year later.
I love that. And when did you join?
I joined March 10th last year,
Awesome. Oh
2015.
man,
Yeah, yeah.
happy anniversary a couple of days ago.
Thank you.
How
Yeah.
awesome that a year into doing this, you just collected a $20,000 bonus for doing your
Yeah.
jobs. That's pretty
Crazy.
incredible. That's awesome. You should be really proud of yourself.
Thank you.
Um, so let's talk about when you first started, when you first signed your first couple of distributors. What did that feel like?
Sure. I was a little bit unsure in the beginning because it took me several months of convincing myself to stick with it because I felt a little bit overwhelmed, and I wasn't 100% convinced that I was going to stick with it. So signing those first couple of distributors was really helpful because it gave me a reason to take it really seriously, and to have someone else to kind of do the business with, I think keeps you a little bit more motivated if you're on the fence. So I think it took that for me to decide, okay, like quit staying on the fence and just dig in and really do this and see if you can make it work. So yeah, it's definitely really helpful. I think once you get to that point where you've got a couple people on your team and you kind of start to see yourself a little bit differently, and you want to set a good example for them. So you decide to take it a little more seriously.
Totally, I definitely think that gives a level of accountability because there's a lot of people. This company we know changes lives, and so you know that every person on your team that represents a life that is either changing, or will change. And what a cool responsibility and a great privilege that we get to be a part of. So definitely, that's awesome. I love that. It didn't take you too long, and you actually had a really full chart. You had a pretty big team. You had an emerald chart that was filled. Um, but it looked better on paper than it did in real life. So can you kind of walk me through that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so by the sometime in the summer, I think about the middle of the summer, I had a full emerald chart, and yeah, I think things just didn't catch up. I wasn't really doing parties then. I was trying to just focus on social media, and I wasn't doing much outside of that. I was talking with people, but I wasn't doing anything personally, and I wasn't setting the best example for my team in terms of income producing activities. I was relying on my posts to create enough business. And I wasn't, I think around August, I kind of started slowing down. I wasn't signing as many well customers anymore personally. And so you may have a full chart, but you've got to kind of keep that momentum going and keep pushing yourself to do more, and to keep working with your team, and just encouraging everybody to kind of meet their first goals and to be able to do that. So I think that's where it was for me. It just took a while to kind of get some momentum again, and we ran into that last quarter, and that seemed a little bit more difficult. Running into the last quarter of the year, it just seemed like things kind of, they didn't halt, but they weren't going the right direction.
Sure.
So yeah, so it kind of took just staying consistent and just trying to keep going, even though it was a little bit slower, and just trying to keep going and keep going until some momentum came again. So
So So you had that full chart. It was not, I think probably a majority of the people that you had on your team started the business. And, if you've been, any of us that have been in the business for any amount of time, we've had people that sign and we don't hear from again a week later, or they kind of fall off the map for whatever reason. They decide that the company
Right.
isn't for them for whatever reason. So most of the people that you had on the Emerald chart weren't really actively working their business, right?
Yeah, I ended up with kind of a dead leg. So that was tough. So
And
you
that's
have
got to be
to
super
keep
discouraging,
going.
especially, you mentioned going into fourth quarter, which is always the toughest
Right.
time of the year for a lot of businesses, and especially a business like ours. That's a really tough time. Did you ever consider quitting at that point?
No, I didn't. I'm stubborn, so I didn't want to give up. I just knew if I kept at it that I would see my paychecks grow to the place where I wanted them to be. Sometimes I think it feels like you're putting in more hours than your paycheck reflect. But the key to that is if you keep going with it, then it's going to turn at some point, and you're making more, and you're not necessarily working the hours that don't equal that paycheck. You're kind of like, wow, that paycheck is way better for the amount of work I'm doing. Like I told somebody at a party this weekend, my check matches pretty closely to my husband's full-time job income right now. And I work from my phone. I don't have to go to an office. I don't have a set schedule. I work when my kids are asleep, or whenever I want. And so it takes some time and some real dedication and effort, but I didn't give up. I knew I could just keep at it, because I knew the products were life changing, and I knew enough people in the company at this point had followed their example and seen that it works, changed everything for them. So I wasn't going to give up.
That's awesome. So, all right. So we're in fourth quarter. You have a fairly large team, and
Mhm.
most of those people are not actively working their business. So you're carrying a lot of the weight of what's going on in your downline. At what point did things change?
I think, I'm sorry, I'm just going to plug in again real quick. I think really it changed. It kind of changed around right when they were getting ready to do a 90-day game plan, and they started talking about the inner circle. And that got me really excited, because it made me stop and reevaluate and think about, okay, who am I asking to join me, and why do I want them to join me, and let's see where this could go if I had my dream team. Let's see where this could go if I was able to really put the effort in, and if some other people came alongside who saw the same opportunity and were willing to put the effort in, let's see what we could make happen. And so that was just, I think that was really inspiring. And I don't know what else really probably changed, except that I had Amanda Pruitt's voice in my head, and I remember her saying that she looked at her diamond chart, and said, if I have to fill every box myself, I'm going to do it, because I'm going to change my family's life. I'm not going to expect anyone else to be the person that, fills my chart for me. If I have to fill every single box on that chart, I'm going to do it. And that was really something I kind of kept coming back to in my mind. I thought, yeah, it's my responsibility. If I'm going to change my family's life, then it's my responsibility. So that was kind of a big key for me too, I think.
Yeah, man, I love that. I think a lot of times in this business, we are looking and we're hoping and we're praying for somebody to come and run on our team. We hear all the time, man, I wish I had a runner, or man, I could really use a runner in that leg. And a lot of times we got to be the runner first, so we're the runner and we set the pace for our team. And I think that energy and that momentum and that excitement that's what's really contagious. And that's what really attracts the type of people that we really want and need on our team as those runners. And I think a lot of times too, we expect, we sign these people and then we expect, all right, man, I got my top line done. And so now this person's going to fill this ruby and this person's going to fill
Mhm.
this emerald. And sometimes it's just not what happens.
Right.
So I love that you said that, and that's so true. Your chart is your responsibility to fill. If nobody else fills the chart for your next promotion, then you better die trying to fill it, because that is your goal. That's your family. Those are your dreams that you want to see realized. So I don't know in what other world it's reasonable to expect somebody else to, fulfill
Right.
all your dreams for you. So this business really isn't any different in that respect. So I love that you said that.
Right.
Um, so you have some incredible rock stars now
Yeah.
in your
Yeah.
downline, which is so cool. These are people that are on fire, that have caught the vision, that are signing people left and right. They're difficult to keep up with. They're so on fire.
Yeah.
So, you had mentioned that kind of thinking about your inner circle and your dream team, people that you really wanted and were praying for on your team. You got them. So how did you get them, and what happened
Right.
to get them started so strong?
Sure. Well, yeah, a friend on my team asked me a while back. She said, "I don't really know how you sign people so fast." And I said, "I just keep asking." I think the only difference was she wasn't asking. I think she was thinking of, oh, I wonder, I hope somebody will come, but I'm not sure she was asking. So I just kept asking. That was really the main thing. And then when I got people who said, yeah, this sounds good, I think I just decided, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and go with this and put as much time as I can into those particular folks who are showing a real interest, who are really connected on the team page, who have learned about the products, who have shown up to some of the different events that have been going on your all's page. And that's kind of been it. I think it's been having those people who want it to the point that they're going to make it work, and they're willing to reach out to people. And I remember hearing something early on, that you really couldn't look at this business as, okay, I need 3 or 4 or 5 more people. You can't look at it that way. You need to look at the opportunity that we have and say, who needs this opportunity? So I think it may take some time, but you'll get to the people who do need the opportunity if you're looking at it from that lens. And I know here recently, some of the folks maybe that I've added to my team more recently, I haven't known for too long, or maybe I haven't connected with them for a long time, but I just started thinking about it from their perspective. What if they need this to get out of debt? And so that was just kind of a little bit of a mindset change. And then when the other thing I think is, I've been asking my new team members what their goals are. And when they express what their goals are, then we've kind of sat down and mapped out a plan.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the monetary, what you need your paycheck to be, but just overall, goals for, personal development and all of that. What would your goals be from this company? And as we identify those with each person, then it's, making a plan for them, and making sure that they are comfortable and are able to take action on those.
That's so big. I love that. You just hit on so many really important things, I think. Um, and I think one of the big things that we've been seeing a lot recently and talking about as a team, and even as a company, that posting does not equal asking. And if
Yeah.
you are not asking people, you're not working your business.
Right.
So throwing up a before and after here and there, or talking about how the company is changing your life, that's good, and you should be doing those things. That's part of running your business. But it's not asking people. And if you're not asking people, you're never going to get an answer. Most people aren't going to bang down your door, for whatever reason. But if you come to them and start the conversation, I always feel like, give people the opportunity to decide for themselves. I think a lot of times, we look at people and say, no, they have a great family, they have a great life, or man, you should see the car that she drives. She doesn't need this company, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the house they live in. And I think we disqualify people before we ever give them the opportunity to say yes or no.
Yeah.
And also, like you said, not everybody's looking just for money.
Mm-hmm.
this company, we're all about fun, friendships, and freedom. So some people want to connect with other people. Some people are just wanting to help people reach their own health goals. And so there's so many different parts of the company and so many different reasons that people get involved. So I love that. And you also talked before about parties. So in the beginning, when you didn't have as much momentum, you were not partying, you were just posting.
Right.
And now you party, you do launch parties, you do virtual parties. Right. And I think that is a huge difference, a huge reason that your business is so different today than it was 6 or 7 months ago. Is that a fair statement?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, I sort of figured out that my strong suit is in person. And so that's my goal now, is to try and find new people who will host. And I tell them it doesn't have to be big. I get nervous if it's a big group of people, but if you have 3 or 4 friends that might just join you and just might be interested in hearing about it, I would really love to share. And that has helped a lot too, because I think sometimes, people get stressed out about opening their home and having a party. But if you just say, say it's one of your customers who enjoys greens, and you just say, hey, could I bring you a few extra greens, and, we'll share them with a couple of your friends, and we'll just kind of make a girls' night out of it. And I think that's working a lot easier. In fact, something else I've done is several teacher friends of mine, I've just asked them if I could come and bring them some samples at school, and if they would, share with their teachers that they work side by side with. I'm just trying to expand my reach in as many different ways as I can, and not rely on social media. And I'm trying to encourage my team to get in person with people too, because it can take you so long to sign a loyal customer that has found the products just through your Facebook interactions. But you can spend an hour with somebody at a party, and there you go, they hand you their order. And especially with the system, I'm so excited about that, because we have people, we used to feel like we were working really hard to get like a 30 BV greens order, and now I feel like being in person with people sharing results from the system that some of our sideline distributors and leaders have had, that's been really exciting. I think that's been a really big game changer too, and part of the reason that volume has caught up in a sense, because it's easy for people. It's easy for them to have a 3-step system and to see the results at the end of that. So we've been talking a lot about that too when we do the gatherings and somebody's home.
That's a couple things that you're talking about here. Party is kind of like a dirty word for a lot of people. They get intimidated, whatever. But yeah, just saying it just like you did. Hey, let's get a couple friends together. We'll talk about some of the products. And I think especially your customers, people that already love the products. Those are great people to talk to about hosting parties. And I'm sure you probably do this, but you're looking for at each party, like, okay, who wants to host the next party?
Yes.
That's always a goal of any party. It's not just signing distributors and customers, but also identifying your next party host.
Right.
So those parties are so critical, and I think that's changed your business, and I think that changes a lot of people's business, because posting is tough. Social media can be a challenge, and it takes a long time to develop a relationship through Instagram or through Facebook with a stranger. But if you can, like you're saying, if you can get in front of somebody for an hour and you make a connection, you build a bond, you are excited and you're energetic, and there's it's personal. I think that that really accelerates the relationship and the trust level, because if people don't buy Jamie, they're never going to buy your stuff.
Right.
So they have to first buy into you as a distributor before they're ever going to care what you're selling. And that makes things so much easier. And it becomes about them, about what their needs are, what their goals are, whether it's, financially or, whatever, to become a distributor, or if they have health goals, they want to lose weight, whatever their goals are.
Right.
It's so much easier to identify that, in person, kind of as you talk. So cool. Just kind of wrapping up, now that you have fantastic people that are really running on your team, that are on fire, that have caught the vision just like you have. Is your training, or are you giving them any different tools, or are you kind of onboarding them in any different way than you did previously?
I think just trying to stay in communication a little bit better. And um, I wanted to talk real quick because you said earlier something that triggered this thought. You said about how we kind of qualify people sometimes, or we think that, that they may not be interested. And I've definitely learned from that, because in the beginning, I felt like I used to just offer this to other stay-at-home moms because in my mind, it could fit into their life. And finally, I started looking more at busy working moms because busy women know how to get things done. And they, so, some people really like to be on the go. And so, having an easy business really that they can work into their already busy life, I think has been kind of key too, because it's almost given me a chance for my team to grow with people who are also working, and It Works would not be their only thing. So yeah, that was just, you had spoken about that earlier, so I thought I would mention that. And then I think we're just trying to kind of stay in touch and do some online parties through ScentShare, so they're easier and you don't have to spend the whole night posting. Yeah, so that's been really helpful. And Rebecca, I'm not so good at technology, so Rebecca led the way on that, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. And I remember you had mentioned it too, Chad, and I thought, okay, yeah, hello, we need I need to be doing that. I was overcome my technology issues. So yeah, and I'm excited about Zoom because I think that's given us a good chance to really see people who I'm not local with too. So, and then locally, I'm starting to do a once a month gathering for all of our local distributors. I think we're just going to meet at Panera once a month, and nothing real formal, but just come and share your wins and ask your questions, bring your charts, and just kind of have a chance to sort of get to know each other a little bit better as a local team too.
I love that. That's so important. I think that personal connection, not only with your potentials, but with your actual distributors, is
Yes.
so important. This business is
Right.
founded and based on relationships. So if you're not building relationships, then you're doing it wrong. And if you are, then you're doing it right. So you're doing it
Right.
right. And obviously knows, right? All right. So for the distributor out there that has signed a team, that has distributors underneath them, that those distributors are not working, so they have a full chart, low volume, nobody's working, nobody's responding to their text messages, what would you say to them?
Right. Just don't give up. That's the only way that you're going to fail, is if you give up. You just have to determine for yourself, okay, am I willing to do this, even if it means me filling this volume? If I've got to go out and do more parties, or I've got to find places to leave my card, or try and do lunch and learn presentations or vendor events or whatever it is. Just don't give up. Just keep the activity going and try to get a little momentum. And as soon as you've got some momentum, just run with it, and you'll be set. I mean, everything can turn around on a dime once you get just a little bit of momentum going again.
Totally. Love it. Jamie, thank you so much.
Thanks, Chad. I appreciate it.
Yeah, bye.
All right, bye.